We're gonna do it anyways. We're gonna do it anyways. Not my words, the famous words of the guy who plays Barry. Barry, I believe his name is. And if you don't know, now you know. Barry is back. Now, to break the illusion to people, he's not actually back. He's a figment of Nigel's imagination, but he is back in a sense. Yes,
I mean, it's the whole point, right? Simply saying, what, 2 days ago they said Pat's coming back, and we jumped the gun a little bit too early because we went, there's no way this thing. Then they revealed it at 9, and it's like, ah, well, probably should have waited for that one because then they actually revealed, yeah, sure, hey, Pat is coming back as a part of like Nigel kind of going back to the 90s, and that's where he, that's where kind of that's where his dementia remembers essentially. That's kind of the angle for it, I think.
yeah, yeah.
And now we get that with Nigel, uh, with Barry. Now it makes sense. It's kind of interesting in the same way, and I don't know. It's cool. It is cool, but I don't know. I'm just a little underwhelmed by the way they're doing these sorts of returns. I'm a little bit kind of. I feel like they could either. I like that they're announcing it ahead of time. I think it's probably a bit too early. I can't lie. Like, why are you saying, "Oh, guys, are you excited for Christmas?" Guys, it's over a month away. Like, I I
It
I get that you're trying to make an angle, but like, this isn't. As far as I can tell, I don't think this is the Christmas storyline. Like, I think this is just a special episode around Christmas.
I see. My one explanation I could have for this is that this might be early on into December, so you don't like it might be the first or second week, so you don't want to spend the first week of December going, who's back, who's back, who's back. You kind of want to space it out. If it is like the first or second week of December that this special episode airs, it would make sense that you do it earlier. But if this episode airs like on Christmas week, it's like you could have waited. Um,
This could be bollocks, but I thought I thought this was. I don't know where I've gotten this from, but to me, I thought that it would happen on like the 20th. But also, I think I can't actually find where I've thought this. So maybe it's a figment of my imagination. Who knows? Guess I'll try have an extra look to see if it did get shown anywhere or it was in any other article. But yeah, I mean, look, it's always a bit of a shame when they do these sorts of flashback episodes. Like Hollyoaks, for example, recently, like months ago. Excuse me. Months ago they did a flashback episode as to what happened in the lost year because Hollyoaks did a time jump, therefore there was a year that was skipped. So they went, "Hey, let's do a flashback to the lost year." And it's a really like tantalizing prospect. You're like, this is going to be good, This is going to be really really good and delicious. But the issue with Hollyoaks doing it is they only really got like one of the actors back, and it's like, what's the point? If you're saying it's set the last year? It's and exactly like this. You don't go, oh, Nigel's back in the 90s. Who is here? Ian, Cindy, and whoever else was actually here
see,
in the 90s.
and I know.
So
Oh,
I like them doing this for this, but I'm also a little bit like,
see,
yeah, no, essentially saying I'm glad that they're actually doing their due diligence to try and depict what it's going to be like. Because I assume the set's going to be like it was in the 90s, and bringing in Pat, bringing in Barry. And let's be honest, there probably will be a couple more faces to kind of round it out. I don't necessarily know who, but I think there definitely will be more.
what I was trying to say, and I hope my theory comes true, that there will be audio recordings as well. Like, obviously, you don't see the faces, but you hear them. So, obviously, he's mentioning Mrs. B a lot, which is Doc Brannon. So, obviously, one would assume, and I know people are going to go, well, she's dead in real life. How are you going to do it? There will be an audio recording of, like, just archives, because there's archives, of Doc Brannon, like, in the Vic somewhere. Like, obviously, you don't see her. You could have a woman who's
I mean,
smoking.
you could even, yeah, you can necessarily I don't think I think in this way they're going to avoid showing a lot of faces, but if they do actually get the environment, you probably want you p- see it is the fine line where you don't really know whether it's like tasteful or not, but like
I
I
think it's
guess if you are trying to do this, I think it would be interesting to have, Dot say like order a brandy and say it's medicinal or something. Not like her just saying like saying the line, but saying a line she would say fairly regularly that you've got like, there's a lot of archives of Dot saying, "Oh, it's medicinal." Um
kind of
or
Mike
you
Reed.
get Peggy telling someone to get out
Yeah,
of the pub. Just something like that. Something that's a cool nod, but like you don't have to show it. You don't. It's not like you're gonna pan over and it's gonna be like someone dressed up like Pat. Maybe you just show like a vague silhouette of someone at the bar who kind of looks like them. But obviously for Nigel, that's who they see. But obviously it's supposed to be depicting what Nigel sees, so it's all going to be in his lens. So he will go, "Oh, that's Dot." But obviously, what I'd imagine the audience will see is that's just some random old woman.
because to me, how you do this episode, and I know because it will ruffle some feathers the way I'm saying this, but you have people who sort of look right. So like in a movie when you can't bring back a character because he's dead in real life, so you kind of have a back shot of them where you can obviously tell who it is, but they can't show the face because if they show the face, it ruins the immersion. You basically have back clip this out of context if you want, back shots of like the characters who are obviously dead in real life, but you have audio recordings of them. Is how I would do it. So like Dot, you only see a woman who's slightly dressed like Dot and is smoking like Dot. You see Frank Butcher, obviously he's dead in real life as well. So you have someone sort of a fat old guy really. Peggy as well. I realistically I would bring Grant back, but Ross Kemp isn't coming back.
He's
But I
not coming
would,
back, is he?
I would, because if he's going back to the 90s, and to me, and I know you might laugh at this, I would have just Steve McFadden and Ross Kemp in shitty wigs to depict their hair from the 90s, just in little wigs. Um, but yeah, because
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine who exactly, because you can still play with some people who are actually there. Obviously, I doubt Sharon will be in this because Sharon's off again. But you could easily have some form of Sharon there. You could easily have Phil there. I assume Phil will be there in some form. Maybe they get old Daniel Delaney again to. I don't know how they age him up because he does still look like a very young Phil, but I don't know, like it's in some form.
well, I
Um,
mean, Phil was only like 20 when he joined the show in Universe, so I would kind of, well, he was like 20,
was he
25.
really?
He was like 25 if I had to guess, so it could
If
work.
he has, he's had such a rough life, it's unreal.
Because well, not in real life, in the show, I
Just
should
like
say.
just like what I feel like in the show, just like Wayne Rooney. Fuck it, I feel like Phil Mitchell's been balding since the age of 3.
Like, because it's obviously young. There's obviously
He's 64. What he was? When was he born?
okay.
He's
Yeah.
born. Oh, come on, tell me, Wiki. 1961. Yeah, he would have been. He would have been what, 30?
Yeah.
Fuck,
So like, it would work to bring
Jesus.
back young like Phil because technically he would
Yeah,
have been 30 in universe as well. If we're like
just
aligning with
good
the
old Peach Fuzz Phil. I
yeah.
say that looking at Phil's wiki is still insane. Phil's got fights, but it's listed in categories. For punches, he has 68 punches.
Okay.
No, but in total he has 101. He has 7 slaps. He has 5 elbows. He has 2 headbutts, 6 knees, 27 kicks. He's versatile, you can't say he's a one-trick pony.
uh, um, I don't know. I'm just like imagining them going back and visibly watching each and every fight scene Phil Mitchell's in. But yeah, like
Nah. Yeah,
uh,
sorry, Karen.
as I was saying, you you could if you want to. It depends when Nigel joined EastEnders. You could bring in some characters that are very obscure, like the guy Nick Cotton killed in 1990. Fuck it, you could bring back Nick Cotton if you can, if you do not want to use audio recordings of Dot Brown, obviously. Dot Brown. That was not Dot Brown. Dot Brown, and if you don't use audio recordings of June Brown, you can bring back Nick. I'm trying to realistically think about who from the 90s could you bring back in
I don't
some
even
way.
know really.
Like,
I say that obviously it's kind of pretty obvious to say the 90s is a bit of a blind spot, or at least for me. I've not really engaged with much of EastEnders in the 90s. Obviously, the big joke is they should bring back the jazz theme, but they shouldn't.
I hope they
I
do it
love
for
the
this.
jazz theme. They shouldn't.
I hope they do it for this
Um,
episode.
I will say, good thing for Sean Williamson, as mate, this is gonna pad out the next 10 years of his touring, isn't it? Like suddenly Barry asking for a little bit more because he's been on an episode of EastEnders at Christmas again.
I remember,
Um,
just side note, I just want to mention this, if you don't mind. I remember I was talking to my dad, and I was like, Dad, they're possibly bringing Barry back, because he obviously seen that Pat's returning. Like, they're possibly bringing Barry back. He went, what is Barry doing nowadays, son? I went, well, would you believe it if I told you he's going around doing karaoke? And I went, what is karaoke? I went, he's doing it in the character of Barry from EastEnders. He's basically playing Barry in real life. And I went, all right. Imagine hiring him for parties. And I went, yeah, if you
be
want, you
great,
can.
wouldn't it?
Yeah. Like he's pay risk.
Look, but son, they don't know who Barry is. I'm gonna do it anyway. It's fine. It's easy. Also, I don't know. I don't know who the fuck did it, but I swear to God,
Okay.
whoever did that post, I swear to fuck, I think someone made it look like Barry was singing "We're gonna do it anyways" at Trump's inauguration. Which it obviously wasn't. It was like the national like bowls championship or whatever. But someone put in the YouTube title fucking performance at Trump's inauguration, which is just inherently funny. Like it's so good. But like why would you do that? That's devious behavior, but it's fucking hilarious. It's unreal.
Who do you want, Mr. President? Who do you want? I like the guy from EastEnders. He is fantastic.
I
Get
mean,
him.
he did get the fucking YMCA. Like, who knows?
I
But
mean,
it's
I
just,
mean,
it's some any like, yeah, just funny,
judging by
just so
recent
ridiculous.
files, he does seem to be a member of the YMCA with Big Bubba. You know, not going to mention who Big Bubba is. If you know, you know. But yeah,
Um,
Sean Williams is
all
back.
that's really to be said is when asked about it, he says it was a complete shock getting the call to go back to Albert Square, but so exciting. I have to admit to a few nerves, loads, when I walked back on the set of the Queen Victoria. But it was so great to work with old friends and colleagues in such a brilliant episode. Just goes to show you never know what's around the corner. The soap's boss Ben Weddy added, I'm delighted to welcome back Sean Williamson back to EastEnders for Nigel's special episode. Barry Evans was renowned for being one of Walford's most unluckiest residents, most notably for his choice of shoes, so it was a privilege to welcome him back alongside Pat for these special scenes in the Vic. I will say the reference as well, we didn't show the reference because, or the picture implying, it was essentially like slip-on shoes. And then people went, oh, this is the date that Barry died, which was the 1st of January 2004. And Janine kind of, when talking about it, it's just like, why didn't he wear slip-on shoes? Because saying, oh, he fell over because of his fucking shoe choice, which is lovely and very funny, Janine. But I will say, I'm a little bit skeptical, and it's not EastEnders' fault. Because just imagining the fact that we're going to see an episode we're going to see an episode relatively from Nigel's view. And annoyingly, Coronation Street decided to do an episode recently where they tried to tell a story from two people's views. But it also just looked like a dodgy episode of Peep Show. Like, and by that I mean where it's kind of like the weird close-up camera, and it's basically it's being shot as if it's being filmed through their eyes, but you're also getting the monologue, and that to me has made me quite reluctant to even think about any of these special episodes because that Coronation Street episode was bollocks. So I I'm a little reticent, I don't want to hear about anything from Nigel's view. I don't want to see the world in Nigel's eyes. I don't want the soap to get really experimental with cameras or have an inner monologue of Nigel or but yeah. I don't
No,
know. I
oh,
think obviously, I think EastEnders will do it better. Um, and I don't think they'll go as ham-fisted like a dodgy little peep. And the issue was, it wasn't even played as like funny either. So like, it was fully straight, and it was about it was about something as tragic as finding out that their baby has like a cancerous lump,
it's like
and like
a
we're seeing their reaction and them kind of go, yeah, well, shut up, like fucking, it's just absolute whiplash. Just like, what the fuck were they doing? But
he's
yeah,
it's gonna have Julie burn like the man's dog, and then it's gonna pan to Nigel going, "No, Julie, it's not my turkey." That's what he's gonna do. The one.
hot diggity dog. I don't know what you want from me. But look, I'm. I guess I'm fine with it. But I also hope that Barry gets approximately 20 seconds at best, and I hope he doesn't get any more than that because he doesn't fucking deserve shit. He doesn't like, I love him. He is lovable, but absolutely not. Please do not fucking even flirt with giving him more. Don't let him sing.
He has a
I
microphone in the
respect
picture.
I respect him. I appreciate him. But I swear to fuck, if he gets any more than a minute in the episode, I will cry.